The Baer SS4 Plus Deep Stage Front Big Brake Kit is the ultimate in braking performance for your daily driven 2015 to 2023 Mustang. If you're looking for a high quality big brake kit that will improve your car's stopping power without compromising drivability, this is going to be your setup. It comes with everything you need to upsize and upgrade your front brakes for better stopping power and some killer good looks. Now, brakes are one of my favorite things to talk about because they are such a vitally important component and one that often gets overlooked when people start a build. And Baer is bringing the heat with this big brake kit for the S550 Mustangs. Dubbed the SS4 Plus Deep Stage, this is the right type of big brake setup for a street-driven car. The big 4-piston calipers clamp down on large 11.6-inch rotors via Baer's street pad. The rotors are a 2-piece design and they are drilled and slotted. Now that's going to help keep debris away from the braking surfaces, and it's also extremely helpful in dissipating heat, which is the enemy of braking performance. These pads are ceramic and of course a performance-oriented compound, so that is also very helpful in dissipating heat. That compound is meant for street use, so Baer designed these to have good initial bite and consistent smooth feel and stopping power. Now the pads are again meant for daily drivers that see the occasional track use such as an autocross or the once in a while track night type of thing. But if you're going to be tracking your car regularly or doing some more serious competition driving, you may want to go further with this upgrade. The SS4 Pluses are going to give you a good balance of something that can get you through your event better than your stock brakes ever could, and they're going to make for a nice improvement on your daily commute too. Now that street-oriented compound means that these are also a lot less noisy and dusty than full-on dedicated track pads as well. Plus, everything is larger than what you get stock, and that inherently provides you more surface area and thus more braking power. And the clamping force of these big 4-piston calipers mean business, so you'll be able to stop on a dime every time. Plus, they come finished in this fire red for a nice little pop of color in the wheel well, and they're definitely different, and they're different than your typical bright red calipers. This is also the lightest kit that Baer makes for these cars, and everything is actually shockingly light when you pull it out of the box. These rotors weigh not much at all, and the calipers also really don't weigh anything, which is a cool thing, so if you're trying to save unsprung weight, this is a great way to do it. Now that weight savings is of course due entirely to the construction. The rotors are a 2-piece design. You've got a zinc-plated cast iron rotor ring for added heat dissipation, and that zinc plating is also going to help stave off corrosion. The rotor hat is an anodized aluminum, and the rotors come pre-assembled just as you see them here with stainless aerospace grade NAS hardware. The pads again are going to feature that ceramic compound, and the calipers are finished in that cool red anodized finish as well. The calipers are also aluminum, and inside you're going to find hard anodized aluminum pistons, stainless steel abutments, and noise suppression cups for smooth, quiet operation. Pricing comes in at about $1,300, which if you've priced out any front big brake kits for these cars, this is a really good price. Yes, it is still a good chunk of change, but compared to other kits in the market, this is a steal, and it's a super high quality kit too. Everything feels really nice. Again, it weighs almost nothing, which is shocking, and you're definitely getting your money's worth here with all that good research and development baked into the pads and rotors. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 4 hours to complete. This is all designed to bolt on without the need for permanent modifications either. However, it is a bit of an involved job, and you will need to perform a brake bleed since you're opening up the lines to put on these new calipers. We're going to walk you through the entire install process right now, and for that, let's head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, a clamp for your brake line, flathead screwdriver, the included syringe, an extension, 10mm wrench, a caliper hook, 11 and 13mm sockets, 15 and 18mm swivel sockets, brake clean, a clean microfiber towel, and a brake bleeding device. What's up guys? Today we're installing brakes on our Mustang, so let's get started. So now we have new brake calipers, pads, and rotors, so I'm going to pull this caliper off in one assembly. I've got a caliper hook that I'm going to hook onto the spring on the strut. And then I've got a pair of vice grips with some rubber tube on here that I'm going to use to pinch the brake line. That's going to make sure that we don't drain all the fluid in our lines. Once you have all that set up, we're going to take a 15mm socket to remove our 2 caliper mounting bracket bolts. And then get a hand on your caliper before you remove the second one. And then you can wiggle your caliper off the rotor. And then take your caliper hook and hook it up onto the strut. And now we can pull off our rotor. Now ours came loose when I pulled that caliper off of it, but if yours is stuck to the hub, just take a rubber mallet or a hammer and just beat around the edges of the rotor until that pops free, and then remove it. So now I went ahead and threw our new rotor on the hub backwards. We're gonna clean down this inner surface and then we'll flip it around to the correct way and clean down the outer surface. So grab some brake clean and a clean microfiber, give it a good spray, wipe it down, and then we'll flip it. Now I'm just gonna throw a lug nut on here to hold the rotor up against the hub. And these do have a left or right sticker around the driver's side here, so that's gonna be the left. And now we can install our new caliper. We've got this piece of styrofoam in between our brake pads that are helping keep them spread apart. So I'm just gonna leave that in there and we're just gonna press that over the rotor. That piece will just fall out and it'll keep our brake pads in place. And then we have new bolts and washers included in our kit here. And then thread in your top bolt. And now grab an 18mm socket. I'm using a swivel socket just to make this a little bit easier. And go ahead and tighten those down. And now we just need to swap our brake line over. So I'm gonna take a 13mm socket to remove this banjo bolt. We have a new bolt included in our kit that's gonna be an 11mm socket. So we don't need to reuse that or the crush washers. Just get that 13mm socket on there, break that free. I'm just gonna pop that ratchet off, twist it out the rest of the way by hand. I've got a drain pan underneath to catch the brake fluid. We do have our line pinch, so we shouldn't have too much coming out of here. Just make sure your crush washers come off of that banjo fitting. And then on the back of our new caliper here, we can twist out this plug. Like that. Get your old caliper out of the way. Slide your banjo bolt with a crush washer through the one side. Put your other crush washer on the other side and line it up with that hole and thread it in. And now throw your ratchet on that 11mm socket. Tighten that down. Just tighten that down nice and tight to crush those crush washers. Now once you have your brake line swapped over, pop off your clamp and repeat the same process on the other side. So now we're ready to bleed our brakes. Now we do have a tube included in the kit. I've put that into a bottle filled with .4 brake fluid. I've got a hole drilled for the tube and a relief hole drilled so we don't build up pressure inside this bottle. I'm gonna pop the cap off of our top bleeder valve and I'm gonna press this tube onto our bleeder valve. I'm just gotta wiggle that on. And then once it's on there, I've got my buddy inside the car. I'm gonna tell him to press the brakes. He's gonna press it down and hold. While he's still holding, I'm gonna crack this bleeder valve open. We're gonna have fluid come out and we're just gonna repeat that process over and over until we have a steady stream of fluid with no bubbles. Now when he's holding the brake, I'm gonna crack this open and then he's gonna keep holding the brake until I shut this valve completely, at which point he can take his foot off and then we'll do it again. So go ahead and press the brake and hold. Crack that valve open and shut it. And I'll do it again. Crack that open and shut it. And we've got a steady stream of fluid. I've got no air bubbles left. So then I'm just gonna drop this bottle down below the bleeder valve and we're gonna angle this off. That'll cause the fluid to fall down into the tube and not all over the caliper and all over the ground. And once you got that removed, just give that one more turn, make sure it's nice and tight. And then just take a microfiber towel and just clean up all of that brake fluid in there. You don't want to leave any on the paint. And then the last thing we need to do is clean out any remaining brake fluid from inside this top portion of the bleeder valve. This is completely vertical, so you can have a little inside that hollow portion there. So we have a syringe. Baer wants you to fill it with warm water. and then use that, press it into there to flush all of the brake fluid out. And then we're gonna empty the syringe of the water. We're gonna fill it back up with air, and we're gonna use it as a blower to blow that water out of there. So get your safety glasses on so you don't get brake fluid in your eye. Flush it out of there just like that. And then get rid of the rest of the water. Pull that back with air. And then we're just gonna blow this in a few times to blow all that water out. And just keep blowing so you don't have any more water coming out of that valve. And don't have any more water there, so just dry up the area around it. And then put the cap back on your bleeder valve. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Baer SS4 Plus Deep Stage front big brake kit with 11.625 inch rotors and Fire Red Calipers for your 2015 to 23 Mustang GT, EcoBoost, and V6. Thank you for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.